So, for today, I will be showing you my artwork, which is inspired by the clownery of the Philippine government. This is the artwork that I made. It says here, Clown World. This artwork is actually inspired by another artwork piece that is similar to this one, but the name that's written on it is Hope World. Well, what does clown mean? In the usual language that we use, clown means a person who dresses funny and acts stupid in front of other people to make them laugh. They're mostly found in birthday parties and circus. They are being paid to do that. They causes drama, they act upon themselves. They are very good actors. But in today's language, clown is a slang term that means you're either funny or they don't take you seriously. For example, if you do something that causes you embarrassment and you feel like an idiot, you can say, I feel like a clown. Why do we call these politicians clowns? Because they entertain us to forget about the real issue. For example, there's a lot of issue going on because of this pandemic. In order for the Filipino people to forget this kind of problems, another problem from these politicians arises, which results to newer issues, and that the more important issues are set aside and overlooked, so that the Filipino people will continue to focus on this tiny little problem. These politicians make their way out by causing drama in front of the cameras. So the real issue here will not get fixed. That's why they're called clowns. The characteristics of modern-day Philippine politics are riddled with dismaying instances that taint the character of the government, as they are threatened by a number of contentious issues. But when issues of corruption and illegal behavior takes place, how are these public servants sanctioned or punished? According to Article 11, Section 1 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, public office is a public trust. Public officials and employees must be held accountable to all people at all times. The legal translation of the article into Republic Act 6713, known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of Public Officials and Employees, it serves as a standard for public officers that must be followed and has penalties for violations. However, despite these guiding principles, accountability still remains as a challenge in Philippine politics, wherein officials who violate these laws are not always held liable for offenses. Nonetheless, despite these guiding principles, responsibility remains a challenge in Philippine politics, as authorities who disobey these laws are not always held accountable for their actions. These examples demonstrate that Philippine politics has long been rooted in a culture of traditional politicians who use their political power to free themselves from the consequences of their actions. In her study entitled Tracking Anti-Corruption and Initiatives in 2008, Emilia Pacoy claims that public officials continue to use their power to extract and acquire for private exploitation and to use illegal means to sustain and clutch onto their position. To address this, thorough investigations into these cases should be conducted so that when violations occur, appropriate penalties can be imposed. More importantly, when cases involving these public officials take place, independent institutions such as the Ombudsman and the Sandigan Bayan must act professionally. But what does all of these mean to the general public? To us, citizens? This makes us realize how important it is to be aware of and be vigilant about what is going on in our own politics. Otherwise, selfishness will continue to breed corrupt politicians with accountability at stake, and the common people will be disempowered. People will be corrupted if apathy encourages corrupt politicians, and they will not take actions against them. As a consequence, our country will be weighed down in a clown show of governance, and our state will be a robbery rather than a noble society. Accountability in political office should be enforced through all means and in all equity, rather than remaining a false impression of justice, a law with no significance, but instead as an eye of reality that serves justice to the people. And if this political problem will not get fixed, then we will continue to live in a cloud world. As a Filipino citizen and as a student that is about to turn into a legal age where I can register to vote, I will use my voice to vote for the legible people that's about to run in our government. Vote for who we think is very legible to be on that position. And that's all for my video. I hope you guys learned as much as I did. Bye!